When the odds are against you,
A force for justice will be there.
when you need someone to defend you,
When you need a champion,
we will be that force.
day and night, my team is dedicated to fighting for you. Serving our community with offices throughout the valley. And if you can't come to us, we'll come to you.
No other law firm in the Valley works harder, reaches more people,
And has more resources than the
J. Gonzalez Law Firm.
So if the unfortunate ever happens and you or someone you love is in an accident,
Call me, J. Gonzalez. The J. Gonzalez Law Firm, a force for justice.
Time is 10:37. The Sergio Show on News Talk 710 KURV, News Talk Authority of South Texas. Good to have friend and family back in the studio. Jesse Gonzalez, J. Gonzalez, injury attorneys, call 1-800-CAR-CRASH. He's been jet setting of late, and I am very appreciative of the pictures you sent in. You went to España, so went to Spain, had the babies with him, had little Gigi and Joaquin. That was very nice, very pretty pictures coming in.
Yeah.
Which beaches did you visit in España when you were there?
Well, Serge, first off,
Yeah.
happy to be back here in the studio.
Welcome back.
Missed you guys.
Yeah.
Well, Fred, not so much because he's a Buffalo Bills fan.
That's right. They're
And-
winning the Super Bowl.
And you know that I'm a Cowboys fan.
Yeah, he's sounding like a Cowboys fan of Freddie on
I
the other
know.
side of the guys. And we're winning the Super Bowl this year.
He's getting the Cowboy syndrome that this is our year.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm always happy to be back and, happy to be back home. It doesn't matter. I've said this before. I can go to the most beautiful beaches, stay at the most luxurious, most amazing resorts in the world, visit incredible cities. But, my happiest time is when I make it back to McAllen, Texas, USA. All home is, you can't beat it. Can't beat it when you
Nothing
get
like
back to
sleeping
your
in your own bed.
Never,
right?
never.
Like your own bed.
Never. So just happy to be back. But, every summer going back to Alaric, who's 23 years old now, and this tradition was passed down to me by my parents. Every summer we would go up north and we would go work in the fields. And it was just nice to get away from the Texas heat, which I promised I would never complain about after that hard freeze in February that killed all of my ficus trees that to replace was $7,000 a piece,
Oof.
which I didn't replace because I didn't want to spend $49,000 on ficus trees. But regardless, every summer we would go for about 17 years up north, and the weather up in Minnesota in the mornings is nice and fresh, very, very cool, sometimes dipping all the way down to the 30s.
Nice.
And then in the evenings, it was always cool. And that kind of sticks with you as you grow up and started teaching right after that. So I stopped going to work up north as a migrant farm worker because I started teaching. And but I never forgot how pleasant it was to leave the valley in the summer. So when I had kids, I had Alaric, that's precisely what I did. I'm like, let's go up north. And it was, first we chose the United States of America. So we would go up to Montana, Colorado, all the way up through California, Oregon. We hit all those northern states. And once we did that and literally traversed all over the country, we started hitting South America, then did all of that. And then we went to Africa and then Australia. And so it became a tradition with me and my kids. And the valuable thing about that is that when you get away from your normal environment and now you're stuck with one-on-one time with your kids and you're not so busy just doing like have a to-do list. We got to do this. And you just hang out with your kids.
Yeah.
You start having conversations that you never have ordinarily because you're so busy taking them to school, picking them up, homework, sports, this, that, and then you're working and you're busy and, the days go by. And so the most valuable thing is not the places that I visit, and the cultures that I see and I discover and all that, and the beaches. It's always about the conversations and the amount of and the quality time that I spend with my children. So now that I've got Gigi at 6 years old and Joaquin 10, I've kept that tradition with them. And every summer we've done something like we did Mexico, first 2 summers, going back these past 3 years. And then this year I thought I'd change it up, and I took them to Europe. And a lot of times folks will tell you, well, the kids are too young to go to Europe because how are they going to appreciate the history and the culture and all the things that they're not going to be able to appreciate it. But here's the thing, and here's why that is misguided. Europe is beautiful, and it doesn't matter if they're learning about the Colosseum or the Eiffel Tower or the whatever, right? The beaches there are beautiful. The different the nature, all of that. I mean, nature's nature, no matter where you go, whether it's the U.S. or whether it's Mexico, whether it's Europe, and kids are gonna appreciate nature no matter where it is. And my kids had an incredible time. We went to Spain and went to Madrid, and then from there we went south to Sevilla, and then we did Malaga, and then we did what's that other Granada.
Okay.
And just beautiful, beautiful southern cities in Spain, hit some of the beaches there. And then from there, we went to Mallorca. And then from Mallorca, then we left Spain and we went to Sardinia, spent some time there. Incredible, incredible beaches. And the water there in some areas is so clear, Serge, that if you take a picture from above in a drone or whatever, it looks like the boats are floating on air. That's how clear the waters are.
Wow.
And so travel tip from Jay Gonzalez, in Sardinia, you can do the clear waters like floating on air kind of thing tour. But then if you want to hit the best beaches, you got to take a separate tour. And the 2 beaches in the world that have been rated #1 in the world are in Sardinia. And I went to both of them. And I guess what makes them unique and special is that right behind the beach, you have these mountains, more like hills, but nevertheless, I mean, you've got the incredible scenery behind you. And then right in front of you, you've got the beach, and the waters are super clear. The sands are beautiful. Just an amazing time with the children and meaningful conversations.
Nice.
Talk to them about a lot of different things and, get to hang out with them nonstop. And nowadays, parents, you really have no excuse, because if you own your own business or your job allows you to not have to be in the office, you can do everything from your computer, from your laptop, from your iPad, from your phone. These smartphones are incredible. And so I was working nonstop, but I was working at a beach, or I was working in some mountain, because I mean, that's, some of these places are just mountainous areas. And so I got to do a lot of things for my office, and I got to spend a lot of quality time with my kids. And so we got back about 2 days ago. So right now, what time is it here today? It's 10:44. Yeah, my body thinks it's like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I haven't adjusted to the time yet.
Yeah.
So, but no, just happy to be back, and we're excited.
Does that affect your sleep schedule at all?
Well, it does, because your body thinks that it's 8 in the morning. Your body it's 1 in the morning here, and it's 8 in the morning over there. And I wake up 6, 7 in the morning pretty much every day without an alarm or anything. And so
time to go to Denny's, put something in my belly.
Tell me about it.
Go to sleep. Jay Gonzalez, injury attorneys, back in the studio, back from jet setting. It went to that Italian region, Sardinia, a few days back. Some
gorgeous.
Of the most beautiful beaches in the world. Literally
gorgeous.
Top 2 beaches in the world. And went with his babies. Basically 2 babies. I got thanks for sending those videos. I love seeing Gigi and Joaquin in action, man. Those years are just so precious when they're that
they really
small,
are.
right? Like 9 and 5, 10 and 5, right? Is that what it is between these two?
She's 6 and Joaquin is 10.
Yeah, no, man. And I was telling Freddie the other day, somebody posted a quick comment. They said that at the moment your baby's born, you have like 6,000 some odd days until they reach 18. And every year is a countdown. And of course, all that time that is just disappearing where you have an opportunity to spend time with. So it's great advice. I think it's great advice to
Mhm.
business owners and managers, anybody who, if you've got the time, you've got the technology. We live in blessed times. Just get away, man.
Yeah.
Just set aside a week, 2 weeks, get away with your babies and create those memories. You will never get that time back again. I hit 0 already with Noah. Noah hit 18.
Oh,
So
wow.
I've already,
Okay.
but he's still with us because he wants to study his biology and bioscience and stuff with us. So my baby's still with me. But it's un peladón. You haven't seen him in a while. He's like,
Not yet.
like several inches taller than I am, long hair and
Nice.
with a beard now. Jesse Gonzalez in the studio. Jay Gonzalez Injury Attorneys. We had like the Jay Gonzalez travel show going on right now. Hey, we're doing online 710K URV. What are you doing online, Freddie? Okay, so Freddie's got us on 710K URV, YouTube, X, Facebook. We're saying hi to our Jay Gonzalez family online as well. So where are we right now?
Jay Gonzalez, top lawyer on Instagram, and then Facebook, it's Jay Gonzalez Injury Attorneys, or just Jesus Gonzalez, my personal page. So, that's how it is. Hey, tomorrow we've got a special thing going on.
Yeah. Oh,
Serge.
by the way, big announcement, and like Rush would do. Jesse Gonzalez you've known him for the longest time as a Dallas Cowboy fan, but he's not going to pivot. So there's a big event taking place tomorrow. Making the announcement, he will now be a Raiders fan. That's what's taking place tomorrow, right? The Operation Raider. Is that what it is?
Operation Raider.
So you're now a Vegas
Saturday.
Raider
Well,
fan. No,
not so much, Serge. Let's not get carried away. Through and through, regardless of whether they win or lose, I am a Cowboy fan till the day I die.
Dallas Cowboys for life.
I mean,
DC4L.
I may die of a heart attack because they never win.
God forbid.
Cause of death, Cowboy fan.
Yeah.
That's going to be on my tombstone.
A cowboy lo mató.
Yeah.
Los Cowboys lo mató. So what is this?
Death by Cowboys.
Yeah, they're death by Cowboys. Operation Raider.
Operation Raider. It's a big deal. Look, when we opened my office, my new headquarters in Edinburgh, we had Operation Bobcat. And what I do is I take the mascots of one of the high schools, and Edinburgh was one of the original. Well, it was the original high school in Edinburgh, and so I chose that name for that reason. And as you know, we have a fleet of Hummers that we featured in our Super Bowl commercial, and we feature now in our campaign. And I bought that Harley Davidson motorcycle with the Top Lawyer logo on it. And so what we do is we have a convoy. No different than a military that has their convoys of tanks and trucks and jeeps and all that, and they invade these countries. And you see some of that footage, black and white footage of World War II, where armies and whatever would have these convoys going into different countries invading. So we've got these convoys, and they always call them operations, whatever the operations are, but they're military operations. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, all right, we're going to have an operation. We're going to have a convoy, and we're going to invade certain areas with all of our Hummers. And so Operation Raider, if you care to take a wild guess, where was the name inspired by? Raider. Fred, you want to take a wild guess? Why would I choose Raider? We're going to Brownsville.
Nope, I better not say it. I was thinking Mexican Raiders.
No,
not the Revolution.
Border Raiders.
No,
is that what you're referring to?
That's what I was referring to.
Border Raiders.
No.
Pancho Villa and the Border Raiders. Yeah. Okay.
So what high school would that be?
Rivera.
That's right. Rivera's mascot from Brownsville are the Raiders, and we're going to be in Brownsville this Saturday morning. All of my Hummers, not doing the motorcycle, because while I enjoy riding motorcycles, I don't like riding motorcycles in 100-degree weather. I kind of wait till if it's late in the afternoon, early evening, yes. If the weather's nice, yes, of course, but not at 11 o'clock or 10 o'clock in the morning or 12, especially riding it all the way to Brownsville. So it's going to be all the Hummers out there. And then, we pick like popular dining areas or diners or coffee shops or, stop and have lunch. So we want to meet and greet the folks of Brownsville. Obviously, we have an office there. We've had an office there for about 15 years. And so we're going to be going all over the place in Brownsville. So if you see a big convoy line of Hummers, honk, wave, say hi. And obviously, if you see us in Brownsville having lunch, coffee, whatever, come up, say hi. We'll have some stuff that we'll probably be giving away. The idea is we want to let people know we're here, we're strong, and we're here to fight for you. And we are a force for justice. And you'll get a glimpse of that force when you see these, 12 Hummers lined up, driving up and down the streets of Brownsville. So it's kind of a parade, but it's not a parade. It's a convoy. So we'll be there this Saturday. So hope to see some of you there
Okay.
because I'm really looking forward to it. And in Edinburgh, it was awesome. It was a lot of fun.
So you're going to do this like every weekend or every month?
No, I
or
mean,
muscle man of
the
weather?
last time we did this was back in November,
Okay.
and we haven't done it since. So, 7 months went by?
Okay.
So, it just kind of depends on the situation. And so, we've got some events that are coming up, but we just happen to choose this weekend. We thought it was a good weekend to do it. And so, I'm looking forward to seeing some of you in Brownsville. But we're also going to maybe stop in Westlaco because we have to drive our Hummers. I mean, obviously, we have Hummers in Harlingen and Brownsville, but the ones from Westlaco, McAllen, Rio Grande City, we're all going to meet up here in Hidalgo County, in Edinburgh and Westlaco, and then we're going to drive up together. So you might see a bunch of Hummers on the expressway this Saturday. And if you do, you heard it here first. It's Operation Raider.
Raiders.
Yes.
You should do like the Trump train. You've seen those Trump trains where they have all these trucks and SUVs and they have American flags and Trump flags. You should put like Jesse Gonzalez flags.
We got flags, but they
put the flags on there.
But they ripped. Whoever we ordered the whatever we
Buy
ordered,
made
they
in
just,
American flags. Don't
well,
buy
the
cheap
flags
stuff
didn't
from
rip. The
China.
poles attached to the
Oh, okay.
vehicles didn't hold up. So we got to find better car flags.
Jay Gonzalez, injury attorneys, ready to fight for you. Call 1-800-CAR-CRASH. Monday, Lord willing, we'll see you at the HQ, right? That's the plan?
Right.
Okay.
Headquarters. We're going to do it in the lounge now. We're not going to do it in my personal office. So
Okay.
I want to change it up a little bit. We went from
But we still get the cappuccino, though, from Georgie, right?
Absolutely.
He's going to make some cappuccino
In fact,
Monday.
the cappuccinos you're going to get on Monday are going to have my logo on the cappuccino. We bought this little machine that when you make the cappuccino, it whatever design, if you anything you put into that machine, it will duplicate it in the froth of the milk.
Wow. You should have, man, you shouldn't have told me that. I really would have been impressed with Georgie giving me my cappuccino with a logo on it. How the heck did you do that, Georgie, with like a little straw with the logo on there? That's Monday on the Sergio Show, 9:00 hour. Will be from HQ at the lounge, which, by the way, in driving by, I've seen some cranes out there and some scaffolding. What are you doing there at the HQ?
Well, that's phase 2 of the construction. I mean, we opened it up for business in November, the building itself, but phase 2 was enclosing some of the areas in the back to make use of them. And so we're doing that now. And then we added a garage for the Hummer and the motorcycle because it's part of the business. And so you keep those things in the business. So, when people drive by anytime during the day or at night, they're going to see my Hummer and my motorcycle in that garage because it's styled after dealerships where you've got the showroom where they've got cars inside. So it's going to be styled after that. I mean, I got that idea from Cadillac. They're my neighbors. And I'm standing out there. I'm like, how should I build this garage? And I'm like, well, instead of enclosing it completely, let's just put some nice big windows and people will be able to see the Hummer and the motorcycle, the Jay Gonzalez Top Lawyer motorcycle and Hummer in the garage.
For a moment there, I thought maybe you and the crew were going to erect like a helicopter landing pad on the top of the HQ. Because if you think about it, some look like Westlaco, limited space, but we could put one on top.
Yeah.
Harlingen off the freeway.
Yeah.
Why not? See, that way you can hop, skip on helicopter, Brownsville, Harlingen, Westlaco, McAllen, Edinburgh.
I'd have to rappel off that helicopter when we go to the different locations, though.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be able to land it. I'll take some lessons I
was going to say, get some lessons.
From the Delta Force.
Learn how to fly. Because especially at the HQ, you got plenty of land, I think, right, to put a helicopter landing pad like right next door. But
For
the
sure.
other locations, you could put it on top. Anyway, what's going on? I'm burning time here. What's going on with the crew? You come back home.
Super busy.
No more partying. No more late night use of the HQ for late night partying and clubbing. Everybody get back to work.
Seriously.
Right?
No, I mean, look, we're super busy. We're excited. I'm happy to announce that we're bringing on board a new lawyer who is very well respected, well known, has done an incredible job in his career. He got started, about 5 years ago, And so we're always looking for great people, people that share our passion, understand the culture of winning and doing what's in the best interest for our clients. And so, we interviewed a lot of people, a lot of lawyers, and we feel like this one is the perfect fit. And we're just excited to bring him on board. And more than anything, our clients are going to appreciate, me bringing in this new lawyer. And then we're going to hire two new paralegals with a lot of experience. And so, again, I'm always looking for the best people to make sure that our clients are being served to the best of our ability because they deserve it.
The intake process for anybody with a potential case, how does that work?
Well, it's a simple process. We screen clients on the basis of whether or not it's their fault or not. Obviously, Texas gives you rights if you're the victim of an accident, not basically causing an accident. And so once you get past that threshold question, then the question is, are you injured? Are you hurt? And then if you're hurt, well, then we go to the third question: is there insurance involved? We want to make sure that we get these clients paid, not just win and give them a piece of paper that says they've won. So, you answer those three questions, and we basically say, come on in. We'll either come to you or come to us. And we've got 6 locations across the valley, but we also have these Hummers that will go anywhere, literally. And then you sign our contract, and it's a contingency fee, which basically means if we don't win, you pay nothing, zero, absolutely nothing. And then we just take it from there. But above that, Serge, we don't collect 1 penny unless the client is 100% satisfied with our services. And by that, I mean no client will approve of a settlement unless they're happy with what their net recovery is. And when they're happy with what their net recovery is, after all the bills have been paid, whether it's medical and legal, and they say, well, what belongs to me? Well, this is your portion. Well, that's great. When do I get my check? At that point, we've got a client that's happy, that's satisfied. And at that point, then I collect my fees.
I've never asked you this before. Just curious. If they don't want to go the contingency route, can they go the per hour route with you?
No.
It's only contingency.
We don't work with, by the hour. That's, typically for criminal defense lawyers, family law lawyers.
And DPS and police, I've been wanting to ask you this for some time because it's been a long time since we've been involved in any type of accident. Do they divvy up? Do they weight the fault of the individuals, like 60-40, 70-30, or they say outright, this person, that's your fault?
Yeah. They basically have factors, what caused this accident, and they'll list those factors in the report. Insurance companies will then get that report, and then they'll determine if they're going to accept full responsibility or a portion of that responsibility. Obviously, if it's more than 50%, well, then that absolves them of any responsibility. And so you have to be at least more than 50% responsible for an accident in Texas. Every state's different. Mm-hmm. They call that contributory negligence. How much did the other person contribute to this accident? And if somebody contributes more than 50%, well, then the other party's not at fault. And so that's how that works. But yeah, the intake process is fairly simple. We're very detailed initially because we want to make sure that we cover all our bases to ensure that clients are not inconvenience moving, down the road.
Okay. Welcome back. Welcome home. See you Monday, Lord willing.
Thank you, sir.
Jesse Gonzalez, J. Gonzalez Injury Attorneys. Remember, my friend Jesse, God forbid anything bad happened to you on the road. If it does, you get hit by someone, something bad happens, you need to think of number one. That would be you. And Jesse and all this crew will take care of you and your family. 1-800-CAR-CRASH. 1-800-CAR-CRASH. Thank you to our supporters this hour of the Sergio Show. Thank you to Lone Star National Bank and South Texas Buick GMC. Dana Lash next. It's 11 o'clock.
History's unfolding, and you're listening to it on News Talk 710 K.
When the odds are against you, a force for justice will be there. When you need someone to defend you, when you need a champion, we will be that force. Day and night, my team is dedicated to fighting for you. Serving our community with offices throughout the valley. And if you can't come to us, we'll come to you. No other law firm in the valley works harder, reaches more people, and has more resources than the J. Gonzalez Law Firm. So if the unfortunate ever happens and you or someone you love is in an accident,
call me Jay Gonzalez. The Jay Gonzalez